Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. We are so excited to have you here if you are joining live or watching the replay. I'm Shannon Galladay, and I will be introducing our speakers today and moderating the questions and also asking the questions to our two guests. So this series is all about exploring real-world solutions to challenges educators and leaders are facing today, from burnout to inclusive practices supporting sustainable student-centered schools. We keep things short and impactful, 30 minutes of meaningful insights, and we'll leave space at the end for your questions. So feel free to drop those in the Q&A box as we go along. So welcome everyone. We see we have some guests joining us live, and if you're able to post in the chat box where you are tuning in from. We'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. And if you can see, thank you, Jess. She posted my email. If you have any questions and you're not able to post in the chat box, please email them to us because that would be great. All right.
You know what? Sorry, it only is showing for you and Sophie.
My goodness.
We're working on the chat, everyone. We're working on the chat.
We are working on the chat. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we'd love to receive your questions. You can go ahead and I will copy what you just wrote and we can share it with everyone. If you look in the chat box, you should see my email. So Shannon at xl-pr.com, and you can send us your questions through email. We're happy to answer them. So today's conversation is on helping new teachers find their place in education, and we're excited to be joined by two voices in education. So first, let me introduce Dr. Jessica Werner, the founder and CEO of North Shore Learning. She has worked with schools worldwide as an instructor, a professor of education and classroom management, and a consultant for over 20 years. She is passionate about helping to equip educators to work with students with varying academic and behavioral needs. Dr. Werner specializes in behavior support, including social and emotional learning, student regulation, and self-management, holistic approaches to student behavior and communication for general classroom students and students with additional learning needs. So joining Jess today is Sophie. Sophie Muessenich is the Vice Principal of the Primary Program at Footprints International School in Cambodia. She is passionate about creating transformative learning environments where students feel empowered, teachers feel supported, and school culture thrives. Sophie focuses on building strong relationships, inspiring collaboration, and fostering a community where everyone can grow and succeed together. Outside of her leadership role, Sophie finds joy in sports, music, and travel. She loves playing rugby, football, and tennis, trains in CrossFit, and enjoys singing and ballet as creative outlets. Her passion for exploration and new experiences continues to shape her vision as an educator and leader. So welcome. We are so excited to start our conversation. We have questions for both of you and for each of you individually. So our first question is for both of you. So what do you see as the biggest challenge for new teachers what do you see as the biggest challenge new teachers face during their first year in the classroom? Let's start with Jess and then we'll go to Sophie.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm excited to hear what Sophie has to say because Sophie is more recently a newer teacher. But what I see in our work worldwide with schools is the reality of the classroom is a lot different when you're on your own than it was as a student teacher, where you had the support of your university and often mentor support. And then when you're on your own, it's you and the students, and it can be overwhelming for people. The number one thing that I think is surprising new teachers is behaviors and the amount of time they have to spend monitoring and supporting behaviors, but really the whole package. If you're brand new and it's your first time alone in a classroom, it can be really overwhelming.
Absolutely. Sophie, what do you think? Oh, go ahead and unmute.
Good morning, everyone from Cambodia. Jim Rip Sur means Good morning. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. And I completely agree with you, Jess. I think the most difficult part as a first year teacher is you're basically in a survival mode. You're really trying to balance lesson planning. You're trying basically to be perfect. You want to feel as safe in school as a teacher, so you don't want to make any mistakes. And I think that's actually the mistake, because you don't reach out to people. You're afraid of showing that you're new, that you're maybe struggling as a teacher. And I completely agree what Jess said. Classroom management. Oftentimes teachers, yeah, are afraid to ask for help because you want to be perfect. You want to be seen as a perfect teacher. But again, this is the challenge. Um, yeah, because nobody is perfect and we all need support in classroom management, especially nowadays. Yeah, managing challenging behavior in the classroom.
I just want to add on one thing. Even though you're a new teacher, you don't really get any grace for being a new teacher from the students or the parents. Like Sophie said, there's a lot of pressure on new teachers because the stakes are so high immediately. So even though you don't have a lot of experience, you are expected to perform at a high level, regardless of how many years you've been in the classroom.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, you described that very well. Thank you. Sophie, this one is for you. What challenges do new teachers face in meeting the diverse needs of students, especially multilingual learners, students with IEPs or those experiencing trauma?
Yeah, great question. Again, in our classroom, there are so many different, we are facing so many different learning needs. And it's a teacher's responsibility to really make sure everyone is on track, right? And this is the challenging part, finding these specific strategies for students to really make sure that all students yeah, can achieve their highest potential. And I think the biggest challenge for a teacher or anyone stepping into a classroom is, yeah, trying new techniques and not feeling judged. um, Oftentimes, when I go into classrooms, teachers are afraid of trying new things to meet learner needs, because yeah, they're so afraid of doing something wrong. It's also linked to the first question. And what I really appreciate in our school is the trust-based observation program. So we don't want that when we step into the classroom, the teachers feel we observe them. We're there to support them, and really shifting away from feeling observed and scared when someone is in the classroom. Um, so really, we want to shift away from that. When teachers feel supported, when teachers feel safe in the classroom, in the school environment, they can try different techniques with the students, because it's all about trying new techniques, seeing if it works with the student or not. It's basically like being on stage. Sometimes when I sing a song on a stage, the audience love it, but maybe in another environment, people may still like it, but the atmosphere is different. So you have to try new things. It works in this classroom, but maybe next year in that classroom it doesn't work. Again, as soon as teachers feel safe, they try new techniques, and really learning all the time from your colleagues. What works in this classroom, can I apply it in that classroom? I think this would be a great starting point.
Yeah, thanks, Sophie. I love your passion and your energy. So good. So, Jess, this one is for you. Many new teachers feel buried under lesson planning, grading, and administrative tasks. What practical tips can help them manage their time more efficiently?
So I definitely remember this feeling of, oh, we have to do all those things. I have to do all that and I have to teach. Um, I wanted to take a piece out of this because in my work with newer teachers in schools, providing coaching and support, kind of like what Sophie had mentioned, one of the things I ask about pretty often is the way we assess. Because when we look at all those tests that we need to do and we have a pile of assessments, I'm I wonder if we need all that graded. Do we need all that data? How do you know? I like to ask the teachers I work with, how will you know they've mastered the content? And they say, "Oh, they can show me, 5 things that are correct." Okay, if they only need to show you 5 correct things, do you have to grade hours and hours of homework night after night? Just really rethinking, what are we assessing? How is it showing us what the students learned? And how can I be really efficient in my own grading instead of grading every single thing? Because the people I see who get the most stressed out, these poor teachers, they have stacks on their desks of homework. And it's like there are a lot of ways we can utilize homework as formative assessments, um, in different ways that we see that the students have tried, and we see where they've grown, but without actually grading. So that's kind of the question I like to pose back. All right. And I like to take it off their plates. That's my favorite thing to do. That stack, you don't have to grade. Like that stack isn't going to tell you any more than these 5 questions in front of you are going to tell you. So just rethinking assessment. And this is something universally that's happening. Are we assessing the right things? How do we know they've learned? Those are 2 questions to ask yourself. And then you find when you're not staying up all night grading a million papers, there's just naturally more time to respond to parent emails, to do some of those other administrative tasks that are also really important.
Those are great tips. Thanks, Jess. All right, we're going to go to Sophie. So, new teachers often report feeling isolated in their schools. How can they find a sense of belonging and community among their colleagues?
Well, thank you for this question. This question is actually really close to my heart. Yeah, isolation is real. And I always tell the teachers, don't wait for belonging to come to you, create it. So really seeking for all opportunities inside the school to be part of something. What helps me personally, living here in Cambodia, I apply the sandwich method. I just call it sandwich method. Before work, I take care of myself. So I like to work out in the morning before I start. This really gives me the chance to focus and be prepared for the day. So when I work out, I basically go through my day. And yeah, it really helps me to stay focused at work. And then after work, I plan another activity that I have something throughout the day that I'm looking forward to. Again, this helps also, yeah, to feel part of the community here because I know I'm going to join an event after school. But throughout the school, I recommend to everyone, all teachers, all leaders, to always say yes to opportunities, yes to things you can do together. It can be small things, eating lunch with a colleague, asking if you want to, if you want to even observe a classroom. And again, really these small things, if there's an after school activity or we have several events in the school, be part of it. Really don't wait for it, really be part of it because there's nothing better than feeling part of a community, especially when you're living abroad, really making sure you connect with people inside your inside the school environment and also outside of the school.
Thanks, Sophie. Those are great tips. So, Jess, this one is for you. Burnout rates are highest in the first 5 years. What are some early warning signs, and how can new teachers protect their mental health?
Well, I'll go straight to the second part because I was writing notes as Sophie spoke. I love your sandwich method. It's so smart. It's so smart. You should trademark it. Um, burnout is real and it can happen, it can surprise you. It's cumulative. So all the things that happen throughout the year kind of build up and the stress and the pressure. So I think warning signs are first of all, absenteeism. So teachers who aren't showing up, taking multiple days off, illness, you know, our bodies respond to stress sometimes with being physically ill. I would say that is another sign. Although in new teachers, it's also tricky because new teachers catch every single virus. I think because our immunity is so low. But just if you're an administrator, uh, keeping notice, like who's coming to school, who's feeling well, who's engaging in the hall, who's doing those things Sophie said, even little things like spending lunch with colleagues instead of having lunch alone. Like there are they self-isolating? That's a huge warning sign. Are they leaving right after work instead of joining in community building activities that and again, not assuming anything, but just keeping track and noticing these things and reminding yourself as a leader, okay, I'm going to have a conversation about this. I noticed you haven't been able to come to our after school activities. I just want to make sure everything's okay. But yeah, I think engaging and actually asking the questions. And then for for teachers, the mental health and well-being question is a topic that needs weeks dedicated to it. But the things Sophie mentioned are really important. And I actually wrote down during your bio all the after school activities you do, all your hobbies and the things you're interested in. And I think it's so smart and it probably is part of what keeps you well. You have this wealth of things that you're really interested in doing that you said you're trying to make sure you do before school and have something to look forward to. I love the having something to look forward to piece because the days are long, right? We want to like have a reward at the end, even if it's something little. And so sometimes I'll talk to teachers who will say, "Well, I don't have any hobbies. I don't know what I like to do." And this is where the coach in me can come out and we can dig a little deeper. But I'll usually find there's something people are interested in, whether it's I really like hanging out with my cat and petting my cat. Wonderful. Like animals are hugely beneficial for our mental health. Or, I like seeing my godchildren or my nieces and nephews when I can. I think people think hobbies need to be these big things that you're always creating something or it doesn't. It can just be where do I like to spend my time and who do I like to be around? So not forgetting to incorporate those things into your days.
Thank you for sharing
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah, thank you so much. I loved what both of you shared. Thank you so much. This question is for Sophie. So you are a young leader making a big impact. How can schools spot leadership potential and create leadership pathways for teachers?
I think I like to say yes to things. I said yes 3 times this summer because I got married 3 times. No, I'm a big yes person, but again, you have to set boundaries. But again, how can you spot it? It's very important for schools to create these opportunities for teachers. These are small things. I would like to share you an example, and I'm very happy about that. So I love community and I love to implement morning activities with students. Honestly, there is nothing better for me than doing a morning assembly with all students at the beginning of every morning, just starting the day right together. Again, I really like this idea. So we started implementing that, but I thought, well, it's not about me, right? It's not about that I come up with this idea and we are doing it. I want to shed the light on teachers, right? And then I opened up this opportunity and I said, well, teachers can actually participate as well. So again, giving this opportunity to teachers to do something, do these small leadership activities inside the school environment. And another example was when we had the end of month assembly. I asked teachers, I actually went around the class, to different classes, and I saw, wow, in one class, the teacher was singing a great song with the students. And I asked, would you like to lead the assembly? Would you like to be part of the assembly and sing the song with the students in front of other students and that we can all sing the song together. Again, then creating this opportunity for the teacher to be on stage. So again, I think that's very important. Yeah, first of all, as a leader, to create the opportunities for the teachers, really small things, leading a PD or anything very small, but just giving that opportunity. And second, as a teacher, really appreciating the opportunities and saying yes. Just say yes, just try, even though if you are insecure, just try. We're here to support you. Again, saying yes to every opportunity, but with setting boundaries. You can't say all the time yes, and then you're feeling burned out at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much. Jess, this one is for you. What role do mentors or coaches play in helping new teachers build confidence and see themselves as professionals?
Well, I love mentors and coaches not only as a support for teachers, newer teachers, veteran teachers, everybody, but it can also be its own leadership pathway. Schools utilizing the role of a mentor, even just somebody who's only been in the role 1 or 2 years, it can be, it's acknowledging that I see you doing good work. I see you doing good things. So mentors and coaches, I feel like especially coaches are underutilized. There aren't that many schools I work in that have a robust coaching team. And that is something that's slowly shifting. And so the work we do, we come in and we work as outside coaches and we teach, or I'm sorry, we spend time with the teachers. And we also help schools build up internal coaching capacity. And I think it's critical because teachers get support from peers. And if in our case, they get objective outside support from people who work in the field, but also it shows teachers a leadership pathway because not everybody thinks, I want to be a principal. I want to be an assistant principal. I want to be a dean. When I was a teacher, none of those things appealed to me. Like, I knew that wasn't the right place for me. But in education, there aren't a lot of other pathways. And so utilizing coaching and mentoring opportunities in schools, I think is a really good way to acknowledge great teachers, provide a pathway to leadership that doesn't have to look like running a school, but can still put you in a position where you're supporting your colleagues.
Great. I like that.
Yeah,
Supporting your colleagues.
that's really good. Okay, this question is for both of you. So if you could give one piece of advice to a brand new teacher about finding their place in education, what would it be? So we'll start with Sophie and then we'll go to Jess.
Thank you for this question. I have 3 B's. Be prepared. Teaching is basically like, or anything you're doing, it's basically being on stage. So be prepared. Really have a plan in the classroom. Even rehearse your idea. I know oftentimes we think, oh, we can just, we can just come to the classroom. We will figure it out. But I personally believe that you have to come prepared. Know what you're doing and have a plan B, knowing, okay, if this activity is not working, what else do I have? So yeah, again, as think about it as a performance. Being on stage, again, you have to prepare, you have to know your script, you have to know what you're doing. So this is the first one. The second one, be flexible. Oftentimes I see teachers really, again, want to be perfect, want to get everything right, but we have to shift away from being perfect. We can't be perfect in the classroom. Nobody is perfect. So be flexible. Having a plan B, having a different activity. Again, if you have that toolkit, you can say, okay, stop, let's all stop with this activity. I have that another activity prepared. So again, be flexible and be supported. And this is what Jess said as well, the role of a mentor. I couldn't stress enough how important it is to have a network. Again, just now in leadership, I know that, for example, that I have Jess. I'm so grateful for this because we met through LinkedIn. And I feel like even though we never met in person, I feel we know each other. I can ask Jess questions. I feel supported by her. She's an incredible mentor for me as well. So again, having that support system. So as leaders, we need a support system, but teachers need a support system too. But teachers are afraid to get support because they don't want to they don't want that other people think, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing or she doesn't know what she's doing. But if you are afraid as a teacher to ask questions, I understand. I completely understand. Then ask for support outside of the school. Actually build your network of educators outside. You can actually also be, if you're maybe not, if you don't like to talk to people in person, ask online, ask for questions online. So again, be supported. Really make sure that you ask the questions, ask for help. These are my 3 things: be prepared, be flexible, and be supported.
I love those. What do you think, Jess?
I know, it was so well said. You I would say I'm gonna add an A to it, and it comes with be supported. Advocate for yourself. It's really hard, especially when you're a new and a young teacher. I was a 21-year-old teacher. I was very young. I was very new. Um, and I see it all the time with teachers I work with of all ages, but definitely in the newer teachers who are very mindful that, like Sophie said, they're on stage and they just started performing, but they're, the audience is treating it like they've been on Broadway. So it's okay to advocate for yourself. And this is more for leaders. Leaders, you set the culture of the school that encourages that, or it can, even without you trying, it can discourage that. So as a leader, maybe finding out, sending surveys to your teachers. How are you doing? What do you need support with? What are your challenges currently? That's one way you can do it. Having the one-on-one meetings with people in the hallways. Like I said, if you're noticing trends, checking in on people, those are ways you can show this is a culture where it's okay to ask for help and it's okay to not be perfect. And so, like I said, the leaders who, I don't think anybody on purpose makes for a culture where people are afraid to ask for help, but I think it's kind of the default. The default is everybody has what they need, and if they need something, they'll ask me. But it's really, as a leader, opening up your own space to hearing feedback, to letting people be vulnerable, to making time for people. That will help newer teachers feel comfortable advocating for themselves.
I love this, Jess. May I add something to
Oh,
this?
go ahead. Yes, yes.
Absolutely love what you were saying. These small actions you can do as a leader. What I've seen, what I've seen is that people go and check every morning in the classroom, have these one-on-one check-ins. So I like to do this in our school here too. So every morning I go to the classrooms and have really a one-to-one conversation with the teachers. And again, I love what you were saying, Jess. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Meeting them in the hallway, just checking on them is so important. And yeah, this is what I wanted to share. And I know my mentor from university, because I'm studying my master's now in educational leadership, and he's watching. His name is Al. And he told me one thing, and that's very important, showing vulnerability as a leader. um, I it really it works magic, because again, nobody is perfect. And if you tell the teacher, oh, I didn't know that, or I'm sorry about that, if you're really showing vulnerability, um yeah, we're all humans, we are all working towards one common goal, and this is supporting our students. And as soon as we show that, teachers feel safe. And if you think you maybe did something wrong, you can say, I'm sorry, I didn't know that it will turn out like this. What can we do to fix it? So yeah, that's a powerful tool, I think, as a leader and teacher to show vulnerability.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. This has been a great discussion. Thank you so much for your insights and your tips. Great discussion. So I am receiving some questions through email. And if you haven't already, go ahead and email me. I put my email in the chat, shannon@x-lpr.com. So this question is for Sophie. So this is from Andre in Korea. And Andre asks, what is a true internationalism? So, what is true internationalism? And why is it important that early career teachers enhance their awareness of it? Do you have any insights?
Okay, I just wanted to say hello to Andre. We were talking about support system, and as a leader, I couldn't be happier to have that support system. Andre is the founder of Leading Your International School, and I think I wouldn't be here now without him and his support. So again, we were talking about network and feeling supported, and we met each other at a conference in China. So actually we met each other on LinkedIn as well, and then I went to China to a conference where all different leaders from different parts of the world met, and I couldn't be happier about the support system. If you have questions, if you just knowing that someone has your back really makes a difference. And yeah, that's just something I wanted to share. I couldn't be happier about that support system. So for anyone, leaders, teachers, yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you too. Back to the question. Could you repeat the question again, please?
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, thank you for talking more about that support system because it's so important. Okay, so Andre asked, what is true internationalism? And why is it important that early career teachers enhance their awareness of it?
Okay, internationalism. It's a great question. As teachers in the classroom, we were talking about different learning needs, but especially in an international classroom, teachers, yeah, have different students from different backgrounds, different beliefs. And it's so important that teachers are aware of that, really making sure that everyone feels included. So this is something teachers have to be aware of. Not everyone has the same background. Not everyone yeah, yeah, comes from the same country. So you really have to be careful as a teacher as well how to approach that. I was previously teaching also in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, in the Emirates, and again, it's a different setting as well. So you really have to make sure to yeah, to include everyone in your class, and be careful as well how you phrase things, how you approach your teaching strategy, you imply your teaching strategies. As a teacher, again, you're working with so many different teachers as well. So how can you yeah, how can you be part of that diverse community? Being The best advice I would give, being open-minded, and being open for feedback, and yeah, really learning from each other, because every teacher has different skill sets. So you can learn from a teacher who all had worked maybe for 3-4 years in China. What worked there in the classroom? Oh, I could apply this. This teacher worked in Dubai. Oh, this strategy is interesting. Maybe I'm going to apply this in my classroom. Yeah, being open-minded, and learning from each other. I hope I answered that question, Andre. And thank you so much for being here.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Sophie. So Al wanted to give you a compliment. So he sent a message. He said, "Not a question, but this is Al, her mentor, who wanted to say that she's a phenomenal leader." So
Wow, thank
yes, I wanted to make
Well,
sure you got that.
I want to say too, I asked Sophie to be a part of this. Sophie is going places, people. She's doing big things. She's a very young leader. She's already making a very big impact internationally. I'm just excited to watch all the amazing things you do, and you've already done so much. So thanks for being such a great role model and example for all teachers and for newer teachers.
thank you, Jess. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I agree. So this last question is for Jess. And so the question is, so how do you spot potential leaders? As new teachers come into the classrooms, what qualities, what characteristics do you see in those up and coming teachers?
That's such a good question. I wish there was an easy answer, like a checklist. You could just be like, yes, yes, yes. When I work with teachers, and I work with so many, I'm not always, what stands out to me isn't necessarily the person with the brightest personality or who's doing the most, they're doing the most after school activities with their students, or I'm looking for teachers who, like Sophie said earlier, are willing to be vulnerable and try new things. That's like the number one thing I look for. People who will invite me in on a day where they're starting something brand new and they know they have never tried this before and they have outside eyes on it. Those people to me are future leaders because they're willing to be vulnerable, they're willing to accept feedback. I would say ability to accept feedback also is really an important one for future leaders. Yeah, those are the things I look for. And some of the people I've spotted, and we will highlight them. I'll take pictures or videos when I'm in their classes. I'll ask them to be on, webinars that I give to schools. Sometimes they're so shocked, like, well, like I because they're not seen as leaders in their school communities because they're not speaking up at staff meetings. But so not looking for personality traits necessarily, but looking at who's willing to try new things, who's willing to be vulnerable, um, who has new ideas. Like, I'm always looking for people who say things like, "I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna find out." Like, those are the kind of people I think they have leadership potential. So those are some of the things I look for, and I spot in teachers I'm working with.
Thanks, Jess. Those are great. Sophie, did you want to add anything?
Well, I really like this, trying new things. And these things only happen if you feel safe. I can say, yeah, yeah, there are environments where you really are scared to try something because you're afraid that it goes wrong, and then you're thinking you will be in trouble for trying. So yeah, as a leader, it's so important. I know we are always talking about this, feeling safe and being part of the community, but it is so important. Basically, we're spending so much time at work. We really There are just these small things you can do that a teacher feels safe. Just just yeah, take care of the teachers you're working with, because again, what Jess said, it's so difficult being in a classroom. It's so difficult to be abroad as well, even though it looks glamorous most of the time when you're living abroad. But again, it's difficult. You're not home. You are not with your family. So again, really checking on the teachers and sticking to your words as well. If you're saying, yeah, if you're saying something, really stick to that as well.
Oh no, we lost her for a second. Sure, she'll jump back in. I loved what she was sharing. That was so good. Oh, well, thank you everyone for being here and thank you for your questions. Yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties. We appreciate all of you that emailed me your questions. And if you thought of any more questions, if you're watching the replay, you're welcome to ask those questions as well. Okay, let me see if she's able to jump back on. All right, well, we are wrapping up this conversation, and so thanks again for being here. Jess, can you just give us a little bit more info of where our listeners can find you, where they can connect with you online?
Sure. Yes. I'm based in Minnesota in the States, but we work internationally. So last week I was in Seoul, I was in Korea. You can find us at our website, northshorelearning.org, or I have a separate little well-being giveaway I like to share. And if you go to www.jessicawernerwellbeing.com, you'll get it. And it's some of my favorite well-being tips that I share with teachers all the time. So I'll put that um, or jessicawernerwellbeing.com.
I'll
And
put it in
then
the chat.
Sophie isn't here, but she's at the Footprints International School in Cambodia, and I know she would always be thrilled to hear from anybody who has questions, ideas, or just wants to say hi.
Thanks, Jess. Okay, so there's
Yes,
jessicawernerwellbeing.com.
thank
And
you.
then do you know the best way to connect with Sophie? You mentioned,
I would say I
okay,
would say through her school, Footprints International.
okay. Footprints International. Okay, great. And then we will share those links in the replay in the box for the replay as well. So, yeah, thanks again, everyone, for being here. That's a wrap on our conversation. We appreciate our guests, Jess and Sophie. It's been a pleasure having this discussion. If you're watching live or catching the replay, we hope you'll join us again. We do these webinars every month. So this isn't for the next episode of North Shore Learning Series. Keep an eye on your inbox or follow us on LinkedIn to get updates. So thanks again for being a part of the conversation. Oh, it looks like Sophie's able to join again. I'm so glad. Um, oh no, there you are.
We understand, Sophie. We know
Yeah,
how this goes.
yeah, I know, especially it's so early in the morning over there. So we're so glad you could come back.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, we can hear you. Yeah, thanks for coming back.
I'm very sorry. Talking about flexibility, I'm here in Cambodia. Our internet
We
turned
know.
off.
Oh
So,
no,
so
no
this
It's a good
problem.
lesson. Yeah, we all got to watch flexibility in action.
Yes,
flexibility and not being harsh. I was again, I wanted to be perfect, but again, you can't be perfect and you have to make sure you're prepared for these challenges of internet connection again. I'm
yes.
sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
don't worry. We totally understand, and we're so glad that you're able to join us today for this conversation. So we were just talking about how our viewers, our listeners can find you online. Are you able to share where's the best place for people to connect with you? We posted Footprints International in the chat box, so so everyone who's listening, you can go ahead and check out Footprints International School to find Sophie. Oh, there you go. It froze for just a minute. We'd love to know how we can connect with you online. Can you share?
Yes, thank you so much. My name is my new name is Sophie Brandsar. I'm gonna write it in the chat. You can find me on LinkedIn or email. Again, if you have any questions, if you just want to have an in German, you can say open ear. Offenes Ohr, offenes Ohr means yeah, I'm here for you. We can just have a chat. I'm writing it here inside. Sophie Brandsar on LinkedIn. Um,
That's wonderful, and congratulations on your wedding, on your marriage. That's so wonderful.
Thank you so much. I'm still in my honeymoon phase. I hope it will continue for several years, never ending.
Yes, that's wonderful. And I copied it so everyone could see it. So thank you for sharing. And okay, well, that's everything. Is there anything else either of you would like to share before we close?
Yeah, I would
Thank
like
you,
to
Sophie.
share. Thank you for this opportunity. Jess, I personally learned so much from Jess, and she helped our teachers so much. She gave a PD, zones of regulations, and it was so great to see it worked. Basically, every classroom has a SEL, social emotional zones of regulation chart in the classroom. We have calm corners, and I loved that PD so much because you had a toolkit for teachers, and teachers could basically choose what they like for their classroom. Because again, not everyone likes that approach or that, so you gave them the opportunity to choose, or you had different ones. And I love that they took screenshots of our PD. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for leading, Shannon.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the great questions, and I hope to connect with you again.
Oh,
And
absolutely. This has been a pleasure. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I know it's so early over there in Cambodia, so we appreciate you being here early.
thank you so much. All
You're
right.
welcome. Yeah, well, thanks everyone for being here. If you joined us live or watching the replay, we hope you have a fantastic evening or morning wherever you're tuning in from. And like I mentioned, we do this once a month, so check on LinkedIn or your email, and we hope to see you all again soon. Talk to you soon. Take care.